Now, of course, learning continues. You guys have access to the B Learn channel. That's my private group, mentorship group and trade group. So we're going to be sending trade ideas from time to time. We'll have weekly live sessions. Then also, after this class, you are required to go to the channel, go through the course. Let me open it up. Go through the Raja course before you go through the main one. So you just click on the top, you see it here. What video mentorship plays by Raja. So this is my mentor. So 5 classes. I had just 5 classes with him. So you go through all those, you find them useful. Okay. All right. So let's go into today's class. All right. So today we want to look at time frame combination, and also we're going to look at trade scoring. What we have to look out for in a trade to take a trade. Also, we're going to look at the advanced confirmation. Those are the last 3 things we're going to look out for. Now, every other thing, why I insisted that we all learned the strong zones and weak zones, and defining a trend and all that trend line. That's because everything is going to be used in you taking the trade decision and all that. So that's what you're going to be looking at today. So now, firstly, let me take everything off from this particular pair. We're going to be looking at gold. Now, the time frame combination, simply what I use in analyzing is the weekly, daily, 4-hour. Some people use monthly. A guy that mentored me, he uses monthly. He's a position trader. He can hold trades for over a year. He uses monthly. Then if you're using monthly, that means his time frame will be his combination will be monthly. It's going to be looking at monthly, weekly, daily. It's going to take his entry from the daily time frame. If you are using 4-hour, maybe you're an intraday trader, your time frame combination is going to be daily, 4-hour, and then maybe 1 hour for your entry. All right. If you're using maybe short-term trader, you can use 4-hour, 1 hour, and then 15 minutes for your entry. So it depends. So these are different time frame combinations we have. But personally, like I said, I use weekly, daily. I don't even look at the monthly, mostly weekly, daily, and 4-hour. All right, weekly, daily, 4-hour, and then I usually sometimes wait for break of market structure on the 1-hour time frame. Break of market structure is simply what we looked at when it comes to the change of trend. All right, so the an opposite zone is taking off and all that, then trend line is broken. That's what I call break of market structure. So anytime you see maybe BOS, that's what it means, break of market structure. That means trend is changing. The market structure is changing. Structure was bullish, now is now bearish. All right. So then I am for low risk, I can use as well the 1 minute time frame for entry, and we're going to see all that. Even not today, as we move along and take trades, do analysis markup, we're going to see all that. So I've already talked about the combination, time frame combination. Now, when I look at the weekly, if the weekly is up, that's uptrend. Uptrend, the daily is up, and then the 4-hour is down. If we have this scenario, what we're going to do for we know that this higher time frame, these other ones, they are up, right? Uptrend. So what we're going to do is to wait for a daily, because we want to buy, all right? Because is weak, the trend is up, market structure shows is up. So we wait for a daily demand zone on the 4-hour. By the time you mark your chart on the 4-hour time frame, you look out for the daily demand zone, right? That daily demand zone is where you are going to look out to buy. So price is going to retrace that daily demand zone. You look out to buy so that it realigns with the higher time frame trend. You understand? So if the weekly is up, daily is down, and maybe of course maybe the 4-hour is up. what in this case, what we're going to be looking out for, since the weekly is the higher time frame, we are taking decisions based on the higher time frame, because the higher time frame controls the lower time frame, and the lower time frame will definitely conform at the end of the day to the higher time frame. What you just have is like each time frame, they have their own trend. So what we could just have on the lower time frame, maybe it's just the retracement and all that, right, for a continuation to align with the higher time frame, the direction of the higher time frame. So in this case, on the we're going to be looking out for the on your chart, you're going to be looking out for the weekly demand zone, right? You go to the daily time frame. The weekly demand zone is where you'll be looking out to buy your pair so that it will align with the weekly uptrend. So that's just a simple explanation of how it works. So now, when this is gold, the first thing you want to do, we want to analyze this pair. Now we're looking at now we're not talking about the last topic, which is advanced confirmation. We're looking out for this is gold. We want to trade gold. We'll go to the weekly time frame and we'll check. The first thing you need to check is to whatever time frame you are on. If you are trading the daily 4 hour and 15 minutes combination, you go to the daily first. But since I'm trading the weekly, daily, and 4 hour combination, I'm going to go to the weekly first to get my trend. That's the first thing I want to do. Of course, you have your trend line, you can draw your trend line and all that. I'm looking at the first to the last two connecting points. So this is the most important one. All right, this is also a trend anyways. All right, this is also valid. Okay, so now from our definition of a trend, this is an uptrend, right? So we have opposite supply zones being taken out and trend line being respected. So this is an uptrend. Prices on an uptrend when it comes to gold. Now we're looking at the recent price because every candle here takes 1 week, right, to form. And we're not going to be taking entry on this. So what I'm going to be looking out for is simply just very simple. I'm looking out to mark out my demand and supply zone on all the time frame combinations I'm using, which is going to be the weekly, the daily, and the 4 hours. So I'm going to, this is my demand zone here. So I'll label this weekly demand. Weekly demand zone. Then I want to look out for my supply zone at the top. Okay, because this is where price is now. Because now price is moving. What's the next? Because we're trading zone to zone. What's the next place that I'm expecting price to go to? I'm going to be looking out for that as well. Sorry, just a minute. Check something. All right, so now this is going to be this is it. This is the weekly supply zone. Remember, like I said earlier on, during our earlier classes, the proximal candle, that's where price is approaching. You don't mark the wick, you only mark the body. Why the distal? You cover the wick. So that's why I covered all here, because price touched that area, all right? But for the proximal, just the body of the candle. That's why I'm covering just the body of this particular candle here, right? So now this is the weekly supply zone. So let me tag that. This is the weekly supply zone. Okay, so now I have my weekly marked out. Now I want to go to the daily. I'll go to the daily. I look out for my zone on daily. Now, this is a continuation pattern. It's also a demand zone. You know why? And it's a strong one. You can see it took out this supply zone here, this particular zone. So this is a daily demand. Now you can see that price came back to retest. That's why it's very important that we take trades off these guys. What's the problem now? I don't want to buy a... What do I close? Okay. So this is call this our daily demand zone. All right, it's actually a continuation pattern, but it's also a daily demand. Okay. So this is daily demand. You can see price came back and retested it because it's a strong zone. Took out this opposite listing here. This opposite. So when you follow these rules, it's going to be quite easy for you to, you're going to take trades that are more like have high probability. So it took out this opposite zone here, this particular one here, all right? So price came back and we tested it again. So now let's move on to, let's see, do we have any daily? We have a daily demand here. Took out this opposite, this is a daily demand here. This supply took this out. So we're going to mark it here. So we have our daily supply zone here. Okay. Then the last thing I want to look out for is I'll look at my last time frame, which is the 4-hour. The 4-hour, 4-hour. The 4-hour, we have which one are we going to mark out now? We have, let's check the criteria, which one is valid. We have this 4-hour time frame. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, since I don't have anyone here, let me move, look at the back at history. We have one here. Look at this. This is the last one I can see here. We have one here. You can mark out this as well. But let me look at the more recent one. This one broke this. So I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at marking out this. So we'll take this as a 4-hour demand zone. Sorry, 4-hour supply zone. The 4-hour supply zone. So extend this over here. Price has not really retested. It came, so that means we have a lot of liquidity here. You know, so people will look at this like a support zone. So price has not really retested it. So we'll move it here. So this is now going to be my 4-hour supply zone. Okay, so I'm actually, if I'm going to be, I gave a buy call on this particular pair. So I'm going to be looking at take profit zone or where we're expecting price to come to. We're expecting price to come here, come and touch this zone here. Okay. Now, if price wants to move up, then I'm going to be expecting, want to have a change of trend. I'm going to be expecting price to break the daily demand. Okay, this daily demand. Because right now, on the 4-hour time frame, price is still on an uptrend. That means we're expecting the higher time frame. On the daily, price is on an uptrend. All right, on the daily, price on an uptrend, came down before and then broke again. You can see broke the trend line and then it's back up because the weekly time frame is high. Sorry, is up. Its daily is now up, Right now, we have our 4 hour also confirming that bullish move, a bullish bias. That means we are on track. So we're not looking for sales. Sales will be retracement. So now, for this, you can see this took this out. This is a supply zone here. This is a supply zone here, right? So this particular zone took this out. So if I want to do my analysis, I want to look at, okay, maybe I want to sell on the retracement. Let me draw my trend line. I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame now. I'll just mark this out. This is where my expectation is going to be if price is to retrace. So I'm going to expecting price to retrace here. Okay. Because you can actually take trades even while you're, on retracement, but you have to ensure that you're putting all these principles, all these stuff we learn together. That's what we're calling trade scoring now. What to look out for? What has price achieved? This particular zone, is it an uptrend? Did it take off an opposite zone? Is it a strong zone? All right. So once you have that, I cannot expect that, okay, price is going to come here. Yes, this is the target we're looking at, up, looking at price coming here, but price, of course, will not just go bam. Sometimes you're going to retrace, and those retracements, you can actually have some trades off it, like you can trade off them as well. So this is going to be my analysis for gold. Price, I'm going to expect price to maybe retrace here, all right, retrace here, and then go up. Now, if the trend is to change, also it starts changing from the lower time frame, all right, starts changing from the lower time frame. Before you know it, this, if let's say gold is to be bearish, gold is to now the structure of gold is changing to a bearish move, then we will expect price broke this, which is one criteria. If price comes here, that means price broke this particular zone, all right, sorry, trend line. And then if it breaks this zone here, all right, and closes below it, full body candle on the 4-hour time frame, then we cannot say that on the 4-hour time frame it is currently bearish. So what we'll now be waiting for is to see that, okay, the zone that took out this opposite this demand zone, we'll wait for price to come and retest it, and then we can sell. Okay, that means we're trading based of the structure of the 4-hour time frame. Okay, because price might just be turned, the tide might be changing, but as long as the daily remains bullish, the weekly remains bullish, we're going to treat every pullback or retracement on the lower time frame as just as it is, a retracement, all right, not a change. When it starts changing, maybe it now breaks a daily demand, that's when we can now say, oh, seems we're now beginning to have, like, it breaks here, all right, this one, and closes below it on the daily, then breaks here. Of course, that means the trend has changed. The pair is now bearish. Do you understand? So the time frame combination, trade scoring, they help you make better informed trade decisions when you're analyzing the market. So far, I hope all I've said is clear. This is just like a summary. It's more like how to put everything together, to take a trade decision. Only one person is left on this call. Every other person has slept. Well, thank God I'm recording. I hope I'm still recording. Yeah. Okay, so I hope this is clear. For those who are not here, this is our final class. You can go watch the recording and also go to the BLearn channel, go and watch the videos, click on this, watch the videos by Raja, and that will be all for our live session at night. So we're going to be on the BLearn channel from time to time. I'm going to have weekly analysis during the day for the team, and also we're going to also be saying trade ideas. So on your own, you have the basic of how supply and demand works, how forex works, and then you can start practicing on your own. It takes a lot of practice because there's some things you're going to train yourself to see in the chat as well. So without practice, you cannot be consistent. So you need to practice keep practicing and all that. So go watch the videos and then we'll interact more as well. Any question, please? Do you have any question?